The 7-seeded Warriors went on the road and stole a low-scoring Game 1 from the 2nd-seeded Rockets. I wanted to focus on how Jimmy Butler controlled the tempo through the first 3 quarters, building a lead just big enough to keep Houston at arm's length. He played with precision, making the right reads, staying aggressive in the passing lanes, and scoring when it mattered. So let's break down his Robin-like performance. The Rockets came out hot in the first quarter and stayed aggressive the entire night for offensive rebounds against the much smaller Warriors. VanVleet was bricking the whole night, so once you get a stop, Golden State has to leak and run out. Great passing here on the fast break by the Warriors. Steph finds Jimmy running full speed and takes a much smaller Fred in the paint for a decelerated layup. That's how you counter Houston crashing the boards. The Rockets beat the Warriors last time they met by staying super aggressive and switching on Steph Curry. Steph is the Warriors' Batman, and I'm a fan of him running more on-ball actions like this, especially when it is the target Alperen Sengun. Sengun picks up a non-shooter in GP2 who sprints up for a ball screen. This has 2 goals. First, to get the Rockets' small ball and slow-footed big man out on the perimeter, and the second goal is to attack the high show coverage by slipping a pocket pass to GP2, who is a good decision maker off the roll. Now there's a 3-on-2 advantage on the weak side, but with a higher Brooks rotating off of Green, Payne attacks with his left hand and now has more space and advantages. This is why you generally should have the lower man rotate first, because the second he blows by Brooks, Tari Eason is now playing 1-on-3 pretty much. Eason reads his wrongly and Butler cuts on the baseline for a wide open layup. Amen Thompson was face guarding Steph that last Houston game, so let's run more on-ball actions and give Steph Curry the ball. Houston has their center pick up GP2 once more, so the Warriors counter by running that same high on-ball pick and roll to bring a slow-footed center out on the perimeter. With Steven Adams not wanting to come up higher and playing a drop coverage, Tari Eason decides to help out by stunting one pass away off a non-shooter in Jimmy Butler. However, the second Curry swings it, Butler is able to attack off the catch and counter Eason's closeout, getting dribble penetration. With Adams sitting right at the rim waiting to block a shot, Butler smartly jump stops for an 8-footer instead. One thing I also love about Jimmy is he knows he is the second superstar. The goal is to always find the greatest shooter of all time when you can. On the semi-fast break, Curry sees that no one's picking up Jimmy, but he also commands enough attention as a star player that the second Amen Thompson turns the ball watch, Steph is immediately relocating. Butler plays his Robin role to perfection here by running a dribble handoff, giving Steph the chance to attack Butler's man in Eason, who has a sprint to close out. The DHO also acts as a screen, so both Rockets player play his shot, letting Steph to counter and attack the closeout. Adams tries to drop down from the perimeter, but that's a bad angle and Curry has an open finger roll. Look at this defense to offense. When Amen Thompson drives the baseline, the Warriors are in perfect help position. Quentin Post comes to help on the drive, Draymond drops down low to Adams, and Butler drops to X out. The second Thompson loses control of the ball, watch the instincts of both Draymond Green and Jimmy Butler. Green closes out to the weak side corner to cut off that pass, and Butler moves back up higher, cutting that lane off as well and picking up the steal. On the fast break, Post cuts to take the paint, but Jimmy's got his eyes on the 2 shooters on the weak side. Perfect spacing by Golden State here as Butler surveys the court and see Buddy stopping on the wing first to preoccupy Steven Adams, giving Pods an open right corner 3-ball. This was another classic Jimmy play. ISO on the right corner and he goes for his go-to shimmy jab move and attacks baseline. Brooks comes to rotate as the weak side low man, and this one was hilarious. Not sure if Draymond was trying to cut to the rim here, but he legally or illegally ends up running into the back of Jabari Smith Jr., who is ball watching. Smith's original man in Guy Santos had cut to the weak side corner, but Draymond's collision essentially acted as a pick, giving Butler the open weak side kickout pass. Santos knocks a huge 3 to grab the lead. With Steph sitting out, the Jimmy-centric lineups were huge in the second quarter. The Warriors end up grabbing and extending the lead. Pods tries to set a screen here, but Jimmy would rather go ISO on Eason. Nothing fancy here, but a slow and steady pace to get exactly where he wants to get on the floor. And with the entire Golden State team on the weak side, Butler knows he'll have no help from the Rockets and just dribbles into another 8-foot pull-up. He gets super high elevation on his jump shots, so he never gets blocked either. This was a good one too, bailing out a bad Warriors possession. Taking Sengun on an ISO, who does not bite on the pump fake, kicks it out to Moody, who smartly gives it back. But now, the second he gets someone to bite on the pump fake, Butler's crafty enough to dribble and still elite to pull up. Sengun fails to contest here and tries to not go for the bite, but this actually gives Jimmy an open look right at the basket as he sidesteps and drains his long 2-pointer. Having someone who can command enough on-ball attention gives Steph Curry the opportunity to run his off-ball movements. Inverted pick and roll with Moody here, and the Rockets are playing a drop with Şengün with Van Fleet trying to recover from under the pick. Jimmy does not force anything here and picks up his dribble. With Thompson denying Steph on the right wing, Steph counters by brilliantly juking the defender and pretending to come for the handoff, but adds a little juice to it and swims by the defender in the backcut instead. Butler stays patient by slipping a perfect bounce pass, and Curry gets an open layup. These ISO positions are a work of art, reminds me of the old Kevin Durant days. With Butler on the block against a great defender in Thompson, he loves to go to isolation work when the rest of the Warriors are on the weak side. With Houston blowing the weak side actions up, Butler has no one to pass it to and just simply goes to work. A simple power dribble, then spin over his left shoulder but pivot back on his right foot, looking like Michael Jordan out here, and gets a clean midi to go. Jimmy also times his passes perfectly, and that's part of the reason for his high basketball IQ. Paz and him run a two-man game, and with Brooks staying super aggressive on ball, Jalen Green unnecessarily pressures and comes to trap on the sideline. This allows Pajensky to roll to the rim unguarded, and Jimmy finds an open lane and the assist to a wide-open Paz. Miscommunication by Houston here. I feel like every shot Jimmy takes is a high-quality look. Inverted pick and Butler gets to switch on Amen Thompson. It is a fact that he knows that he will get an open look because defenses will treat him as a non-shooter. He knows the scouting report is to have your hands down, play drop coverage, and help on the drive. With the shot clock winding down, Jimmy just dribbles in the rhythm and pulls up from deep, getting a huge three and talks some trash to Reggie Miller. The Rockets storm back late in the third, but the Warriors' defense is what ended up keeping them at bay. When Butler gambles and misses this passing lane, Smith Jr. attacks off the catch, but look at the Warriors' rotations here. Jimmy's ability to recover and not only see that Pajensky helps out to try and take the charge, but Moody's dropping down low on the weak side to help on Şengün. Pod's just standing there forces Smith Jr. to avoid his body and take a terrible angle to pass, where Jimmy peel switches to help on Şengün as well. Golden State rotate perfectly here and get a big steal and a defensive stop. Let's see how Robin helps out Batman to close the deal. DHO with Steph and Draymond, and Şengün gambles by reaching for the steal. That's a huge mistake since Van Fleet is now behind Curry as he spins to get dribble penetration. Terrible help here by the rest of the Rockets, since I guess no one is technically a shot blocker. But before he shoots this, look at Jimmy's position behind two Houston guards. Curry misses a bunny here off an indecision by Thompson, but Jimmy never settles, fighting for position and getting the offensive rebound right over two smaller players. He beats them at their own game and gets a huge second chance putback to extend the lead. For the icing on the cake, Butler takes a mismatch in Şengün on the perimeter. A couple tweens and crossovers gets a big man to reach, and Butler dribbles into the right elbow before hitting him with a sidestep fadeaway from 18 feet. He really is Michael Jordan's son. I am such a fan of this two-way superstar. With Şengün taking the ball up, Butler loves to come from behind and pick big man when they're dribbling. Surprises Şengün the second he tries to spin and forces the loose ball. Draymond Green picks it up and throws a home run pass, and Butler puts the exclamation mark on this big Game 1 win. There you guys have it. What a start to the 2025 NBA playoffs. The Warriors upset the higher-seeded Rockets in Game 1, getting revenge after a recent regular season loss. Playoff Jimmy Butler is officially in full effect, delivering a two-way performance, putting up a Robin-like stat line and helping superstar Steph Curry bounce back. Butler maintained his poise by attacking mismatches in isolation, finding open teammates, and pulling up to knock down jumpers, catching the defense off guard. The Butler-centric lineups while Steph was out were huge in the second and third quarters, helping the Warriors extend the lead by countering Houston's aggressive defense, rebounding, and getting out on the break to generate high-quality looks, even while playing small lineups. He also jumped the passing lanes well, recording 5 steals that led to buckets on the other end. Jimmy is apparently second all-time this century in playoff games with 25 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and 5 steals, which is absolutely insane, and a big reason why the Warriors have stayed dominant in this era so far. Now on to 2 long days of rest, let's hope they can steal a second one in Houston. If you guys like this breakdown, like and subscribe to see more.